The sun blazed over the courtyard of Riverton High, a sprawling concrete square ringed by weathered benches and shaded by a single, scraggly oak. It was lunchtime, and the air buzzed with chatter, laughter, and the clink of soda cans. Liam Carter, a junior with sharp eyes and a quick wit, maneuvered his wheelchair through the crowd, his hands deft on the wheels. His backpack, stuffed with books, hung off the back, swaying slightly as he navigated the uneven pavement. Liam was used to the stares, some curious, some pitying, but he'd learned to shrug them off. He had bigger things to focus on, acing his physics test, cracking jokes with his friends, and maybe, just maybe, asking Sophie from art class to the spring dance. But not everyone at Riverton saw Liam's strength. Nate Turner, a senior with a buzz cut and a chip on his shoulder, leaned against a bench, flanked by his cronies, Finn and Kyle. Nate's leather jacket creaked as he crossed his arms, his eyes locking onto Liam like a hawk spotting prey. Finn, lanky and loud, cracked his knuckles, while Kyle, stocky with a perpetual smirk, tossed a half-eaten apple into the air. The trio had a reputation: petty theft, hallway shakedowns, and a knack for picking on anyone who didn't fit their narrow definition of tough. Liam, with his wheelchair and unyielding confidence, was their latest fixation. "Yo, Carter!" Nate called, his voice cutting through the courtyard noise. Heads turned, but most kids kept their distance. Liam slowed, his jaw tightening. He knew that tone: trouble. "What's the rush? Got a race to lose?" Laughter rippled from Finn and Kyle. Liam gripped his wheels, forcing a calm smile. "Just heading to the library, Nate. You should try it sometime. They've got books with pictures." The crowd snickered, and Nate's smirk faltered. He hated being outsmarted, especially by someone like Liam. "Big talk for a kid who can't even stand," he spat, stepping closer. Finn and Kyle closed in, forming a loose triangle around Liam. The courtyard grew quieter, the air thick with tension. A few kids pulled out their phones, recording from a safe distance. Liam's heart pounded, but he kept his voice steady. "You got a problem, say it. Or you just here to flex for your fan club?" Nate's eyes narrowed. He grabbed the handle of Liam's wheelchair and yanked it, spinning it roughly. Liam's books slid off, thumping onto the ground. "Oops," Nate said, mock apologetic. "Clumsy me." Finn laughed, kicking a textbook across the pavement. Kyle leaned in, shoving Liam's shoulder hard. The wheelchair tipped, and Liam's world tilted. He tried to grab the armrests, but gravity won. He hit the ground, pain shooting through his elbow as his chair clattered beside him. Gasps erupted from the crowd. A girl in the back shouted, "Stop it," but no one moved. Nate loomed over Liam, grinning. "Not so tough now, huh?" Liam's breath came in sharp bursts. His arm throbbed, and humiliation burned hotter than the sun. But he met Nate's gaze, refusing to look away. "You're pathetic," he said, voice low but clear. The word stung Nate more than any punch could. His grin twisted into a scowl, and he raised a fist, ready to make Liam regret it. Then, a shadow fell across the courtyard. The crowd parted, and a figure strode forward, boots clicking on the concrete. He was lean, muscular, with a shaved head and a face carved from stone. His black coat flared slightly as he moved, and his eyes, cold, piercing, locked onto the scene. Whispers spread like wildfire, "Is that Jason Statham?" Kids gawked, phones swiveling to capture the moment. It was him, unmistakably. The action star, in their rundown school, looking like he'd just stepped off a movie set. Nate froze, fist still raised. Finn and Kyle exchanged uneasy glances. Statham's presence was a force, silencing the courtyard. He stopped a few feet away, hands in his pockets, assessing the trio like a predator sizing up prey. "What's this, then?" His voice was gravelly, calm, but laced with steel. 3 against 1, and the one's already down. Real brave. Nate lowered his fist, trying to play it cool. Just messin' around, man. No big deal. Statham's eyes flicked to Liam, then back to Nate. Messin' around doesn't leave a kid on the ground with his books scattered like trash. He stepped closer, and Nate instinctively backed up. You got names? Nate hesitated, then muttered, Nate. That's Finn, Kyle. Statham nodded, as if committing them to memory. He moved past them, crouching beside Liam. His expression softened, just for a moment. You alright, mate? Liam nodded, wincing as he propped himself up. Statham gripped the wheelchair, righting it with one smooth motion, then offered Liam a hand. Liam took it, and Statham lifted him back into the chair with ease, careful but firm. The crowd watched, riveted. Statham picked up Liam's books, stacking them neatly on his lap. Then he turned to the trio, his voice dropping to a dangerous murmur. You lot think this makes you strong? Picking on someone who's already got enough to deal with? That's not strength. That's cowardice. Finn shifted, mouth opening to protest, but Statham's glare shut him up. Kyle stared at his shoes, apple forgotten in his hand. Nate tried to hold Statham's gaze but faltered under its weight. We didn't mean, Nate started, but Statham cut him off. Don't lie to me. You meant every second of it. He pointed at Liam. This kid's got more guts than the 3 of you combined. He's out here, living his life, not hiding behind cheap shots and bad attitudes. You want respect? Earn it. Start by owning what you did. The courtyard was silent, save for the faint hum of a distant lawnmower. Liam's chest tightened, a mix of relief and awe. He'd never seen anyone command a space like this, or stand up for him with such unyielding conviction. The crowd felt it too, kids who'd stayed quiet before now looked at Nate's crew with disapproval. Statham crossed his arms. Apologize. Now. And mean it. Nate's jaw clenched, pride warring with fear. But Statham's stare was unrelenting, and the weight of the crowd's eyes pressed harder. Finally, Nate muttered, Sorry, Liam. Louder, Statham said. Nate's face reddened, but he raised his voice. I'm sorry, Liam. For all of it. Finn and Kyle followed, their apologies halting but audible. Liam studied them, searching for sincerity. He saw flickers of it, shame in Finn's eyes, uncertainty in Kyle's. Nate's was harder to read, but even he looked shaken. Liam nodded slowly. All right. But don't think words fix everything. Prove it. Statham's lips twitched, almost a smile. Smart kid. He turned to the crowd. Show's over. Get back to your lunches. Kids dispersed, buzzing with excitement, already texting about the Jason Statham takedown. A few lingered, offering Liam shy smiles or thumbs-ups. Statham knelt beside Liam again, voice low. You handled yourself well, mate. Takes real strength to keep your head up through that. He pulled a card from his pocket, plain, with just a number scrawled on it. You ever need to talk, or I dunno, learn a few moves, call me. Liam took the card, stunned. Thanks. But, why are you even here? Statham shrugged. Charity thing. Dropped by to talk to the principal about funding for the school. Saw the commotion and figured I'd step in. He stood, glancing at Nate's crew, who were slinking away. Keep an eye on those 3. They might come around, but trust your gut. Liam nodded, tucking the card into his pocket. Statham gave him a firm nod, then strode off, coat flapping, as if he hadn't just flipped Riverton High upside down. The bell rang, and the courtyard emptied. Liam wheeled toward the library, his elbow still sore but his head high. Word of the incident spread fast, and by the end of the day, kids he barely knew were high-fiving him in the halls. Sophie from art class caught up with him after school, her smile shy but warm. "You okay?" "That was intense." "Yeah," Liam said, grinning. "Pretty wild, right?" She laughed. "You're kinda badass, you know that?" Liam's grin widened. Maybe he'd ask her to that dance after all. Over the next weeks, things shifted at Riverton. Nate, Finn, and Kyle kept their distance, and rumors swirled that they'd started volunteering at the community center, maybe to save face, maybe because Statham's words had hit home. The school launched a peer mentorship program, and Liam found himself leading it, sharing his story to packed classrooms. The courtyard, once a place of tension, became a hub of laughter and connection. And Liam? He kept Statham's card in his wallet, a reminder that strength wasn't just in muscles or fists, it was in standing tall, no matter what. One day, he'd call that number. Not for help, but to say thanks. And maybe, just maybe, to learn a few moves.